How you doing? I've got the 2016 Vauxhall Insignia Tourer, Sports Tourer, and it has the water ingress in the switch for opening the tailgate. Quite a common problem apparently. You can't open it using the switch. You can use the button for closing it, and you can use the fob, or you can use the button on the inside. It's particularly problematic when it also opens itself, when you have the two apprentices in the boot. It's quite scary. So first of all, I'll show you the part that I've ordered. I ordered this on eBay yesterday and it came today, and it was Car 4 Parts 1, £24.98. As I said, ordered yesterday, received it today, which is pretty impressive, and they assure me this is the right part. So the main things I'm going to need: Allen keys, a small socket. I don't have the extender, so what I've realised is I can use a screwdriver in the end to poke into the little bits that I need. The only problem with that is if it comes off, it can fall down between the skin and the outer part of the car. It's not the end of the world. You can use a strong magnet to manipulate it back up and out. I learned that from experience. Some pliers are handy, and these little spatula things for taking the trim off, very handy. I borrowed these from my mate Andy. If you don't have a pal that's handy like Andy, then you're going to have to get your own. So yeah, excuse the mess from inside the car. You can still open it using the button, but this button here is not working. This one still works. Excuse the mess, this is where the apprentices go. So in order to orientate myself better, I'll sit in the car and look up at it. So you've got a little nut in there that you need to detach, one in here also, and another one in here also. Then there's a popper here and a popper here. I'll show you how to get that off. Using a trim tool or a very small screwdriver, you can get the first bit open. It's hard to do it one hand, but you basically prise it open a little bit and then fit that through there, and that just pulls it out like that. Well, this one's up here, so I'm going to use two hands. This also has to come off. I saw another chap cut this little bit here and slid it out that way, but you can get into it going from underneath like that. It shouldn't be that hard. It's only this. It's only held in by this and this. So the best way to prise it's that, and then take that apart. There's a little thing that's supposed to prevent it coming apart, but just pops off like that. Another top tip: have a little bowl, like a dog's water bowl, and keep all the parts you take off in that. Right, so I'm sitting inside the car again, looking up at me, and like I said, I'm just using the socket on the end of a screwdriver because it's easier to get in. I'll take the three of these out like I showed you. Right, so that's the three of them out. That one there, that one under there, and that one under there. Back outside, we've popped that one, we've popped that, and we've taken the button out. Button, three screws, and that little socket. So that then gives you access to that. It's just a case of pulling it off and feeling each individual popper. Do it gently. I'll try and show you that. Now you will get all this bit, hold on, this end and the sides come off quite easily, and I'll just sit inside again and point up the way. There's a number of poppers along this kind of area that are much harder to get out. You almost have to kind of pull it down the way and out at the same time, so you will feel like you're going to break it, but do it gently and firmly and it should come off. There's parts of this little lips kind of go down the way and poppers that come out the way. Alright, probably won't be easy to film that, so I'll put the camera down. Yeah, so I'll get this and you're putting it up inside here. Push that out. And whether you go along and prize it, going that way as well, that's up to you, but it will come eventually. What I've done here is use one of these. This is me inside the boot again, looking up the way, and you can pull quite firmly on that. It feels like you're breaking it, but it's amazing how much. Oh, there we go. Now, when this does come off, I'll set this down. You go one there, one there, one there. Sorry. One there, one there, one there, one there. Here, 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 here. Same on this side. Now you'll notice there's one missing, so that means I've dropped it somewhere. And then there's these two that we took off earlier, so I can see it there on the ground. The apprentices forgot to give me them. So as you'll see, they're just plastic clips with metal on the top. Which I'll, oh no, it's not that one, that's a screw, it's this one that's missing, sorry. So it just slides in. That way. It just slides back in there. And that's that. So I'll just put this aside somewhere. So again, that's one of the ones you've unscrewed from inside, unscrewed from inside, unscrewed from inside. The rest's all just poppers. I'm going to sit in again and go upside down, and I find it better to pull it down a little bit. So yeah, you'll see here these little lips are coming down the way, so you're trying to pull the thing towards you and down. Now that's the back of the light cluster. There's no need to take that off to get access to the trim and the button, but you can. Sometimes you get dampness in these as well, you might want to take them off. So now what we have is, push it up again, under here, this is the very edge of the light cluster. There's a small bit up here that takes a Allen key or whatever else you call these things. You can tell I'm not very technical, but there's the one at the other side. So undo both of those, and then I think there's about 9 little nuts that need to come off. There's one there, one here, there's a stud there, there's another one there, one there. There's one hidden behind this motor here, the wiper motor. You can get access to it. It's actually easy. One here, and another one over above the other light cluster. But orientate yourself with the motor and this. Inside this slat here, there is another popper It's either that one or one of these ones. So when you're about to take it off, just be aware there's one inside one of these other slots that holds on. I'll try and show you that many times, right? I'm going to stop this and I'm going to loosen all these. Yep, so looking up again, just unscrewing them using this little, I don't have the extender, so I've got a flathead screwdriver inside an 8mm socket and using it to take off these things. This little outer ring runs separate from the rest of the little nut, so if you're trying to do it by hand, don't be holding on to that bit and turning it, because that's not actually removing it. Now, these are the only awkward ones right at the edge. When you're bringing it out, it's like a game of Operation. Try not to hit the sides or you lose the things down inside here. But you can use a strong magnet to push things and get it back out in various places. Again, this one that's in between the wiper pump, it's just got a little 8mm spanner and you can get into it that way. It's a bit of a footer, but you'll get there. Just persevere. So, yeah, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've taken this one off as well. I don't know if you need to. And then I'll show you these stud things, popper things. Right, so sitting in again, looking up the way. Pull it down a bit. These little popper things. What I find is I just use a little pair of pliers. Hard to do it with one hand here, but basically push it together and then pushing it through that way. You get the gist. Doing it that way and pushing it through. So you're kind of clamping it together and pushing it at the same time. And then I go around all the individual kind of bolt things and just push them through a little bit. Now I'm going to get outside and stand up. Push this up. And like I said already, and I'm looking in the car now, so you get the motor for the wipers, you get this kind of solenoid thing here. This slat you might not be able to see, but there's a little white popper in there, so use a screwdriver or something to push it up as best as you can. You can see clearer on that one there how they work. You kind of need, I don't think you need to do that, this one, but they need to be kind of pushed in a little bit. Certainly makes it easier. I don't think you have to, and I don't think it's the end of the world if you break it, but if you don't need to break something, don't break it. So I'll just batter on and try and take that off now. Just realised again why it's still so tight, because I haven't undone those ones. So the Allen key in here. Same at the other side. The other side underneath here, and it's a 4mm Allen key. So yeah, you just have to use a little bit of force pulling this down the way. Now back in here, what I should have done, sit down again and look up the way. This this part that's going through here to the right of the motor, that needs to get undone, and this little part gets pushed through that hole. Just pull the whole rubber through. Yeah, it was quite simple. You just push down on the little notched bit in here and that releases it, and then you'll just push that through to the other side. Push on through to the other side. Sounds like a Doors song. It's easier to use pliers at the other side. And that's that off. I'll set it down here so you can see. Oh, that's my feet. Yeah. So this is the problem. Don't know why all the water's getting on the inside of that. Just a bad design. So yeah, you've got the two Allen key, but one at each end. Allen key there. Popper. Popper. Yeah, so there's 4 of those white poppers that need to come through. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of the little nuts that come off them, and the 2 Allen keys. Right, so I'm just going to turn that around so I can look inside it. Now, that little bit. So you're taking this bit off of this bit. Again, to do that, you're just pressing down on these little bits at the top there. It pulls out, and eventually that will go down through a little hole down here. Now, I believe this can be prized, I believe this can be prized off from the outside. You can maybe see I've tried already, so I'm going to go and have an attempt at this. Right, they've made that far more difficult than it needs to be, so I'll show you this. This is the replacement button, replacement connector. Now it's basically held in by this clip at this side and this clip at that side. So setting it orientation to here. I think another video somebody took this chrome part out, which is going to be difficult to do. All you really need to do is unclip that from there, and if you can poke something in this little hole down here where the cable goes through to give you access to this push button here, but as you'll see I didn't manage that, so I tried to prise a little bit down here. It has chewed that little bit there a little touch, but I've broken this part off, which then allowed me to get a very sharp knife into the top of this clip, and using a screwdriver under the bottom and the sharp knife here, it prized that out. So now I've got that out, I don't need to worry about the clip at this side. So then just pull that through, pull the clip through. That'll be a two-hand job, but I don't know why so much dampness is allowed to come in all these little parts here. I can feel this conduit stuff here, it's damp, but failing putting, I don't know, one of those Sikaflex or something all the way around, but even then you're not going to stop all the moisture coming in. So I'm just going to feed that one out and put the new one back in, and then we'll, there we go, see how it goes. So another little thing I've just noticed, pushing this part onto the rest of this, it was actually very tight to put on, and eventually I had to use a set of pliers just to squeeze that together to give it the momentum to go all the way on, and it goes on until it clicks. So make sure you do that. I believe this is where some people have used Sikaflex or silicone or something to try and make it a little bit more protected, but who knows where the problem is. So let's put it back together, just the opposite of taking it apart, and see if it works. Right, so sitting inside the car again, I've put this back on here. I took a little bit extra time because I had condensation in here, so I took the light cluster apart and put a drinking straw away inside and blew warm and cold air. Got rid of the condensation. So I've put all that back on. It's much more obvious when you're putting it on where the holes go into what receptors and whatnot. So receptacles, would that be the word? And so I'll go back inside, show you. Now I've just offered this up into place. I have pushed the middle bit on first, which then allows you to manipulate these little bits at the side more easily, and then the rest just pushes in. Learn from my mistakes. Don't get carried away and put the cover on prematurely without first putting the 8 little nuts back on the bolts. Yeah, top tip. Right, so I'm back inside, did it in the right order, put all the little nuts back on. This one and this one, they're not 8mm, I think they're slightly bigger, but for me the 932 is working. I don't know, I've got too many different socket sets all mixed in the one wee place there. The apprentice isn't doing her job, so I'll just get on with this. Okay, so job finished. Apprentice 1 showed a little bit of interest. Apprentice 2, no interest whatsoever. Will be reconsidering their contract. So, moment of truth. Yes. Aye. This is where the apprentices go to and from work, so just ignore the mess. Ideal. Right, well, I hope that has been of benefit to some people. It's certainly saved me a bit of a fortune not going to a Vauxhall garage and paying hundreds to get that fixed. 25 pounds on the internet. That arrived the next day. You can do it yourself. Don't feel the need to like and subscribe, because the rest of it's going to be utter nonsense on my channel. Probably of no use to anyone. Alright, thanks. Cheers.